Many have reached out, and there's so much information out there on the NAR settlement. But I wanted to give you a little bit of perspective on what buyers are thinking right now and what is going on. There's certainly a lot of great resources that are out there on the NAR settlement. I was on a webinar last week with Tom Ferry and several others, Jack Miller from T360 and Alicia Essig, a great agent in Baltimore that really has done a phenomenal job in how to interact with a buyer on this. You can go to, I think it's Tom Ferry /webinar and see that. NAR also did a great Q&A session on this, and there's a document on the NAR website. I'm actually going to post all that on LinkedIn today. So you have some good resources for that. But I will cover just briefly a couple of things on that. I'm going to go ahead and hop in and talk just a little bit about the NAR settlement. One of the best quotes that I've seen comes from Brian over at 1000 Watt. He said, "Our recent research at 1000 Watt tells us that consumer sentiment on this issue is malleable and volatile." I will come back to that in just a minute. "People have just been blitzed with NAR agrees to slash commissions headlines that may ignite mass consumer price sensitivity. But behavioral inertia is strong, and it's a long way from a headline to the very personal and serious decision to get help buying a home." I think Brian sums things up very, very well here. He says malleable and volatile, meaning malleable, it can be changed. Volatile, it's certainly fever pitch. Many consumers are very in tune to this, and maybe they heard something like you don't have to pay a commission anymore, or NAR slash commissions, or you don't have to use an agent to buy a home, whatever the case is, different things they heard which aren't true. What's our job right now? Our job is to be the educator. In a volatile world, people, in times of uncertainty, people follow the certain. And if I were to give you sort of a picture of this, I've used this before, but imagine you're here in a maze, right? Whatever kind of maze it is, whether it's a corn maze or you're sitting there trying to figure out a maze with pen and paper, and you get confused. Confusion leads to fear. I know that for sure. And there's a lot of fear out in the world among agents and people in our business today. Well, fear, if left unchecked, then turns into panic. And panic, if not resolved, turns into paralysis. It leads to paralysis, meaning I don't know what to do, so I'm not going to do anything. And I want to remind you of a couple of things as we get started on this deep dive this morning, what consumers are actually saying right now, because I think there are a couple of things that are true. I mentioned this last week on the deep dive. Buyers and sellers, for that matter, are willing to pay for great advice. They're looking for great advice. And I think certainly being transparent, being able to explain what's happening with this settlement is what our job is. But I found this study that I want to share with you. It comes from Bright MLS. We pulled it, our research team got it from the Northern Virginia Association of Realtors site. Links to all this in the slides. If you're used to that as a KCM member, you can go get that information. They asked this question: which of the following statements do you agree with most? 76% of consumers said this: when you buy a home, you should definitely have someone who represents your interest during the whole process. 3 out of 4 consumers say, yes, I absolutely believe this. I need advice. I want help. I need somebody to lead me through the home buying process. So if we start to look at everything that's being said out in the world about this, that still remains true. So our job is to be transparent. Our job is to bring the truth. Our job is to really deliver to consumers what they're looking for, which is an understanding of this, and then help them through the process of buying and selling a home. Even furthermore, in this report, 91% said it would be very stressful to navigate the home buying process without a real estate agent or a broker. 87% said a real estate agent or broker is an essential trusted advisor for a home buyer. Great advice is always going to be in demand. This is, if anything, this settlement is a flight to quality, right? Consumers are going to demand great advice through this, and they should, right? They should, in our business, demand great advice to help navigate the home buying process. We always say, and the deep dive started out many, many times, most agents know what's happening. Good agents understand what's happening, but the great agents across this country can explain what's happening. And certainly you're here on the deep dive this morning with a desire to be able to explain what's happening. So go get the resources, be transparent in how you communicate, and ultimately explain what exactly is happening with this NAR settlement in our business right now. Hope that helps just give you some perspective, maybe even share that with somebody. If you're leading a team that is wondering, what do we do through this? How do we get great resources? Education is the game changer in this environment, and certainly that is true right now.